Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Again, let me introduce my second book. The title is In Search of Independence. This book has 180 pages. So there are four chapters in this book. The first chapter is the Bangsamoro Revolution toward self-determination. I explained how the Bangsamoro, in search of independence, how they fought for the liberation of the Bangsamoro, uh, how they wanted to realize this kind of right to self-determination that is embodied in many international conventions and international uh, agreements in global scenario. So it is the right of the Bangsamoro to be liberated and to have this right, that is right to self-determination. So I explained how the MNLF fought for the liberation of the Bangsamoro and how they accepted the the lesser arrangement, that is the autonomous government. And I also discuss here how the MILF pursued for the second time this kind of peace negotiation in 1997. It embraced peace negotiation, and after almost 2 decades, the comprehensive agreement of the Bangsamoro was um, inked. And for the last time, we saw the rise of the Bangsamoro Islamic freedom fighters fighting for the independence of the Bangsamoro. But I analyze here that the BIFF will not be able to pursue that independence path because of so many reasons. The first one is the massive uh, support of the people, the Bangsamoro, and they lack this basic principle in pursuing liberation agenda. Okay. I also discuss here the aspirations of the Bangsamoro, and of course we know that the basic aspiration of the Bangsamoro is to have this right to self-determination, that the Bangsamoro could govern themselves without any outside interference. And we know that the Bangsamoro has been fighting for so long a time. Even in colonial era, we saw how the Sultanate uh, government stood face to face with the superpowers of the time during the colonial era. We saw how the Sultan, for example, of Maguindanao, and the Sultan of Boyan, how they establish linkages and relations with the outside powers, for example, the Dutch, the Great Britain, uh, Spanish government. So we can say that they have leverage. Of course, they have this power to stand face to face with those global powers in those times. So you cannot underestimate this Bangsamoro, of course. So the first thing that they want is the liberation, the right to self determination, and a lot more. That's the basic. And in the third chapter, I explained here the role, of course, of the sorry to say, the role of the foreign aid on toning down the liberation. And this is very basic, and this is unfortunately the foreign aid has been weaponized to, you know, you can read here. And the final chapter is this kind of remaking of the Bangsamoro, and this the fourth chapter here proved prophetic. It became true. I wrote here that there is a possibility. that the liberation groups, liberation organizations should come together to take care of this present achievement, that is the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. And that became reality after the publication in uh, sometime in February, in August, or in September. We saw the liberation uh, organizations, for example, the MNLF, the MILF, etc. They are now in the Bangsamoro, in the BTA 2.0. They are now coming together, and that is very important development, because they are now fighting not in the battlefield, in the jungle, etc. They are now fighting within the system. But one thing is very important in fighting the system is that we know one or two persons in the entire i- two countries in the world who tried to fight the system, but were they miserably failed. For example, is Erdogan. Erdogan came to power to change the system in Turkey, but after 2 decades, less changes, he was not able to knock down the system. You know, he was not able to knock the system, and he is going away from the system without large impact in the current uh, politics in Turkey. And there is a possibility that after Erdogan, in post-Erdogan Turkey, we will see another change that is coming back to the old system. Number two is Mahathir Muhammad. Mahathir Muhammad uh, wanted to change Malaysia for good, of course, for Islam, but like Erdogan, he was not able to change. And let's pray in the remaking of the Bangsamoro that Bangsamoro will be different from them, and the Bangsamoro will be able to survive like how we survive the system in colonial era. That the Bangsamoro has a history to be proud of in the march of global history. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.